Hi everyone, this is Aruna from Mindspace. Welcome to the first episode of my new series called the Learning Happiness series. Now, this series is actually based on three important points, and I will just enumerate them one by one. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who's a very well respected, revered spiritual leader of our times, recently addressed a group of students, and this is what he had to say, and I quote: "My main concern is a happy world. Mere knowledge does not guarantee happiness. We see brilliant and educated minds, people who are unhappy persons. Modern society and education are not oriented towards teaching us how to tackle human emotions, nor do they teach us moral principles, but they are more oriented towards material value, quote unquote." He further goes on to say that our brilliant human brain, instead of bringing us inner peace, brings us anxiety, fear. And this is because this intelligence is clouded over by negative emotions such as anger, hatred, ignorance, fear. He says that along with physical hygiene, we also need hygiene of emotions. The second point I want to share with you is that in 1998 there was a formal birth of a new branch of psychology called positive psychology, and it was brought to us by an eminent American psychologist named Dr. Martin Seligman. This positive psychology has now expanded the scope of psychology to include human strengths, positive emotions, and also a focus on what makes our life worth living. The third point I want to make is that India has a 2500-year-old tradition which actually shows us the way to lead a life of inner peace and happiness. And some of the qualities they speak about are ahimsa or non-violence, karuna or compassion, and shila or ethical conduct. These three are then the spine of the Leading Happiness series that I have just begun, and I am so excited to share my thoughts with you and also listen to what you have to contribute. We believe that happiness must come from something outside of us, and therefore we search outside for happiness. But experience actually tells us that this happiness, or the pursuit of pleasure, if one may call it, does not really stay with us. And not only does it not stay, it also can turn from something pleasant into something actively unpleasant, isn't it? The question therefore arises is, what is real happiness, and what are the ways in which one can achieve this inner happiness or inner contentment? I, in fact, liken this inner contentment that is not dependent on external situations to the spine of our body that keeps the body intact, that prevents the body from collapsing. Similarly, this inner core of happiness that once developed becomes that spine for our mind. Mind you, none of the pleasures that I just spoke about, such as meeting friends or watching television or engaging in social media or even traveling and so on, none of them are bad or wrong. It's just that they are not capable of giving us that deep, lasting happiness that we ourselves can create. And how can we create this happiness? Does it just arise on its own? Well, we know from experience that it doesn't, right? So, science and teachings have an answer for this. They tell us that inner happiness or an inner contentment can be developed just like you developed any other skill. And the qualities that you need to develop these skills are just the same qualities that you would employ for other skills, which are acquiring knowledge, putting in a lot of effort, practice, committing to it, having discipline, and so on. So, in today's episode, we will now see what are the conditions that, or mental states and conditionings, or our habits that we have formed over the years. We just saw a slide that enumerates the 5 conditions that we are currently living with. So let me talk about them briefly, one by one. The first condition. Stress and anxiety are very commonplace today. Because we believe that happiness comes from outside, we engage in pleasurable pursuits that I have described before. However, once these distractions end, we are once again face to face with the same stress and anxiety that we started off with. Condition number 2. Because we think happiness comes from outside, we blame people and external situations when things go wrong. And we wish that people and those situations change so that we can become happy. Condition number 3. Our identity and self-worth are very dependent on our family and educational background, our social standing, the wealth we own, and we have all seen that these are no guarantee for happiness. The fourth condition. Modern society today has created an atmosphere of intolerance towards one another, the inability to show even the basic affection towards each other. Technology and knowledge has expanded and we can now interact online, and while these are very helpful, people to people interactions have reduced and therefore a sense of belonging is no longer there for many of us. Condition number 5. The teachings identify 8 concerns that our mind is constantly occupied with, and if you introspect a bit, you'll realize that it is indeed true. And what are these? Pain and pleasure, gain and loss, praise and blame, fame and insignificance or even disrepute. We feel very happy when we engage in some activity that gives us pleasure, or when somebody praises us, or we gain something, or we get some amount of fame or a lot of fame. And the opposite is true, and we suffer very badly when we don't get any of these. What this leads to is a constant yo-yoing between hope and fear. Hope on one side, fear on the other, and degrees in the between. And this leads us to engaging in thoughts and actions that are quite harmful to us and to others around us. So this brings me to the end of the first episode of the series called Learning Happiness. If you like the video, please share, subscribe to my channel. I shall see you soon with a second episode on this journey of learning happiness. Thank you so much for listening in. Bye bye.